Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the February Bicycle and Pedestrian Safety Committee meeting. We've survived the blizzard of 26, and our teams did an amazing job between Public Works and the Police Department and everybody else. But thank you for being here. And as always, we have a pretty full agenda. So do we have a motion to call the meeting to order? Art, first.
Second.
All in favor?
Okay, unanimous, great. The agenda we have for the meeting is shown at, you have a paper copy in front of you and also one in front of us on the screen. Again, this is going to be another of our work meetings. We're going to really cover two main areas, our focus areas for 2026 and the March learning sharing event. So those are both sort of work blocks that we want to do during that. So do we have any suggestions upgrade? Are we okay with that? A motion to approve? Art, Diane again, thank you. And Mark, we had a tie there. We'll let our Raylene decide who gets credit. Next thing on the agenda is the approval of the meeting notes from 122. Again, Raylene has already gotten a couple comments, some minor upgrades, but more importantly, the thoroughness and quality of those notes. They're just outstanding. Literally, we have 7 pages as a result of the work that we're doing in these sessions. So they've become really a great record that we can use, as well as citizens can go back and literally see what we talked about, and it's really captured in a lot of detail. So Raylene, a huge thank you to you. We have a couple upgrades, I think. Did they get in already, Raylene? There were a couple notes from Bob. Are they already included?
Not yet.
Okay, they will be, okay.
When I post them to the website.
They will then, okay, gotcha. But I don't think there were any other issues we saw. So do we have rather than go through those, we'll go ahead and get started. Do we have a motion to approve? Let me look this way this time.
So moved.
So thank you. Second, thank you.
All in favor?
Okay, great. And so our safety contact today is one that I want to share. This is actually from a client I worked with when I was actually working full-time, which seems like a long time ago, which is a good thing. That means I'm happily retired. But, you know, we've talked a lot about the why, right? It's easy for us to spend time on the what and the why, or the what and the how, like signage, rules, procedures. But we also talk a lot about trying to get back and have conversations that are focused with people on the why. Why are they doing something? Why are they wearing a helmet? Or why are they not wearing reflective clothing at night? And those kind of discussions. Why are they using the rapid rectangular flashing beacons correctly, or why are they just walking across the street looking at the phone, right? We can have all the signage we want and all the rules we want, but trying to engage people and understand that. So this was just, I thought, as I was looking at some old stuff, actually has one of our clients on, but don't pay attention to that. But the focus on the why, it really is important, right? It helps you understand what the person's thinking about, right? Do they understand there's a rule or procedure? But then it gets into the motivations. People will tell you, look, I've been coming here for 30 years. I've never worn a helmet, right? All right. I wish I had $1 for somebody ever told me that in my career. And because people say that a lot. That's a basis of people's why. It hasn't happened to me, but it does happen to other people, right? But that why becomes your cause, your purpose, and belief. And so when we're engaging with people, like all the times we spend talking to people, understanding what they're feeling, understanding their motivations and belief, it's trying to understand their why and maybe impact that a little bit. Whether we're riding on the trolley, whether it at front at a concert where we do a little pre-comment. Every comment we have with people is trying to ultimately get back to the why, right, and try to understand that. So what we can learn and also them. So I just wanted to use that as a little bit of a thought starter for today, and then we'll come back and maybe be able to reference that a little bit when we do some more work on the WAVE initiatives, right, on the things we want to do. So any thoughts or perspectives on that? Make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does make sense. And
You know, we had a lot of that on our bus tours. I know Diane and I spent a lot of conversation on why. Well, I didn't know you had to wear a helmet, and, you know, the next, I would call the police chief, you know, is it a law?
Right.
Is there a requirement?
Right.
And a lot of the things that we're telling the folks that we're trying to communicate is the why. You know, there is a law, there is a requirement. But honestly, they didn't know. One of the comments we got, well, you don't have to wear a helmet when you're in a motorcycle, so we just assumed you didn't have to wear a helmet.
Has to be on the bike.
And again, I had to double back because I didn't know what the law was.
Right.
So getting that why with the requirements of the law, why we're doing it, is probably, you know, a good message to put forward.
Right. Because at the end of the day, it's not the rule or procedure that's going to guide people's behavior. It's them understanding the why and saying, look, it's not because there's, you know, Julie standing on the corner and she's going to see me without a helmet and she's going to say something to me, right? I mean, she might, and that might have strike fear to somebody's heart. I doubt it. I don't think Julie does that to anybody. But you know what I'm saying? But it says, why do I want to wear the helmet? Because I want to protect my head, right? And I want to be able to go home and pick up my grandkids, or I want to be able to do that. And that becomes if you can get that conversation with people and that sort of internal thinking, that's going to drive the behavior. And I think the other thing, Bob, to build on your comment, and we've had some discussion on this, and I don't want to spend too much time, but, you know, we spend a lot of time trying to educate people on some things, right? I don't believe things are fundamentally different in Bethany than they are wherever all these folks are coming from, right? In terms of safe direction to be walking, safe direction to be riding a bike, having a helmet. I don't think that's unique and different in Bethany, right? So our challenge isn't so much, you know, I mean, people are bringing their beliefs, motivations, but with them, and that we're trying to have some impact with, right? So that makes it a little bit more of a challenge, but that's what we're trying to do. So we'll come back to this a little bit later. So does anyone? No, please, Diane.
I also think we're dealing with vacation brain.
Yeah.
I mean, they feel that this is, you know,
Yeah.
they're safe here.
Yeah.
So why do they have to do it? They don't feel, you know, if you're doing Montgomery County roads, they don't feel safe.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not.
No,
And my
but
point wasn't that it's.
No, but that's what we have to deal with.
Yeah.
To get that why.
Yeah. But you know, you see the avid bikes, if you just use the helmet issue, you see the avid bicyclists all the time. I guarantee you, they always have helmets on, right? They always have helmets on, right? And they're the ones who understand it, know what the risks are. It's the mom and dads or the grandparents who are just driving around the development and going, I want to go into the Wawa to get a cup of coffee.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, the same thing could happen going to the Wawa,
Yes.
and statistically it does, right? So, anyway, just a thought starter. This is good conversation.
Yeah.
Does anyone else have any other safety contacts they want to share, just to sort of feed the pump a little bit? Okay. So let's go into the town leadership reports. Do we have anything, Terry, from the town? Are we?
Only that we continue to work on the projects on Route 1, the crosswalk, and on Route 26, the crossovers.
Yes.
So we are winding up that work to be done, and I do believe that, I forget this.
I'm sorry. We do have a $75,000 grant for the project on Route 26 that the state gave us from the bond bill that we were just made aware of.
That's for the crosswalks with the median?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
resting spaces,
That's
yeah.
a lot of money.
Excellent, good. Okay, Chief? I think he has his deck loaded up.
I have a remote.
Thanks, Will.
Okay, good morning, everyone. February 9th through 13th, myself and Corporal Rogers got some more in-depth relative training to this committee, and also will benefit accident investigations regarding pedestrian and cyclist. We took the pedestrian and bicycle crash reconstruction class. It was held by the Eastern Shore Criminal Justice Academy, that's where all the municipalities from Maryland on the Eastern Shore attend their academy training. It's very unique. It's universal training, however, it's very unique that we were invited over there. It's something I think I really want to continue to, just it has a little bit more to offer than the state of Delaware training. 40-hour training, Monday through Friday. This was considered level 4 training, so everybody in the class, except for myself and Corporal Rogers, had about 7 or 8 weeks of formal training and experience with this. They're all accident reconstructionists with Maryland State Police, Salisbury, Worcester, Wycomico, a few other agencies on the Eastern Shore. This was a mere elective for us that we dove right into, and I immediately regretted it. I got a picture of the formality of the class, and basically what it does, it measures the area of impact from a pedestrian or a cyclist, also a motorcyclist, and then it calculates ways to show the slide distance of a body, a throw distance, a vault distance, and then you could calculate speed, area of impact, and final resting spots. Very unique class, very overwhelming class, I'll be perfectly honest with you. My head was spinning probably by Wednesday. On Thursday, they took us to the Del Mar Speedway, where we actually used life-size dummies and propped them on bikes and crashed into them with cars and then measured it as a real crime scene. This is for, majority of them are for serious personal injury accidents or fatal accidents. And I'm happy to report the Delaware State Police, we still rely on them to investigate a fatal accident. That's not something that's commonly a common occurrence in the town of Bethany, so they deal with it routinely, actually a little bit probably more than what they want to, but they would be the ones, the professionals that come in here and investigate that in the event that we tragically have that. However, it just gives us, 2 officers in the agency, a little bit more meat and potatoes when we're doing our accident investigations.
Awesome.
I took this picture on Wednesday. I texted to my wife. This was the easiest formula that I learned. It's actually kind of given me a little bit of PTSD. There was 18 formulas just like this, and this was the easiest one. I texted to my wife, and she wanted to do my homework for me because she's a school teacher. I wish she was in the class with me on Friday when we had to test out, but me and Corporal Rogers successfully passed our test. New level of respect I have for accident reconstructionists because they're a whiz at all this stuff and it comes very natural. Again, there's a big learning curve for us. We kind of dove into it, but it does give us a little bit more relativity experience for any occurrence that happens in Bethany. I know we mentioned this before. I think this is one of the areas of topics. I just wanted to add my 2 cents into this. Some literature that can be provided can come direct from the Office of Highway Safety regarding pedestrian or any motor vehicle inquiries. They have advertisements and signups on their website that we could kind of research to get something and stick it on the trolley. This is probably the most effective with time because we can get it by May. And they're also free from the Office of Highway Safety, which is great. We have a lot of literature that we get. We pass out to students. We pass out to vacationers. We hand them out on our pedestrian research and education times that we do, the patrols. Also, I was kind of thinking outside the box. We could personalize this a little bit more to the town of Bethany and use our officers on some kind of poster that we can post in we're only 2 trolleys, 3 trolleys. That way it would make it a little bit more local and a little bit more personal, having a Bethany Beach police car on there with an officer, not me, an officer much more skinnier and younger. But we could have a poster with one of them with some laws that are highlighted on it, so it's a little bit more relevant to the town of Bethany. I think the downfall with that, it would cost some money. I don't think that much to get these made up, something with Vistaprint or something. Yeah. It'll probably take some time. I don't know how long the production of that goes, but I kind of just wanted to add that. We could kind of do either just a generic thing from Office of Highway Safety or make it a little bit more personal with our police department advertising and educating the pedestrians on the trolley. I've heard before, especially when we're out here doing the education, We have too many signs. When people come over the bridge, it's just, they feel that they're bombarded with signage. I've specifically heard that a few times while I'm out there talking to people. I think keeping it very simple, if we're gonna do the trolley idea, just a couple posters here and there, maybe even some handouts that the driver could give or could set up there. But I feel like I don't wanna overwhelm them if we move forward with a trolley idea.
I actually like the idea of having a few signs that can be rotated on the trolley. So for the people who live locally, they're not seeing the same thing.
Sure.
It might catch their attention.
Yep. And which I'm gonna go through on the next slide here. We have designated times, throughout summer where we do designated enforcement for DUI and speed and motorcycle enforcement. We do in September because of Bike Week. We could kind of personalize these and cater towards timeframes throughout summer, but then you're gonna, we're relying on OHS to give us more or gonna cost more to make the posters.
Yeah.
And, we could certainly entertain that.
Yeah,
Again, our targeted patrols, these are for upcoming 2026. These are in addition to our patrol officers that are working their current assigned shift. This overtime grant is funded by the Office of Highway Safety. They focus speed, clicker to ticket, distracted driving, aggressive, reckless, and inattentive driving, cell phone use, DUI, and pedestrian safety. Pedestrian safety is zero enforcement. It's all education. We pass out literature. All the other ones are statistically driven. If we don't produce statistics based on these targeted patrols, you're less likely to be funded by the Office of Highway Safety. So these are statistically driven. If you do a DUI patrol, you're expected to do DUI enforcement. Cell phone patrols, you're expected to write cell phone tickets, so they're specific, and they always come. Office of Highway Safety does a really good job with data and analyzation for these around specific time frames throughout the summer, times of day.
Awesome.
Days of the week. They're very good with that, where they hand them out and we have officers sign up for them. So these are the continued patrols we're going to do in the summer of 2026. Our education initiatives, I'll recap this again next month at the March meeting and hopefully have some more designated dates. We participate in the Poseidon Festival, Memorial Day weekend in May. In June, we have our Foreign Student Safety Seminar. I have handed this on to our newest officer, believe it or not, Patrolman Tressler, who has had a lot of interest in taking this over. He's trying to think outside the box of a location in town, and we kind of have to stick to the middle of the week because that's when most of the foreign students are off of work, so they're more likely to come to these events. But he's got to work on a time and location for that event in June. July and August, we're going to host our bicycle safety check once again with the Office of Highway Safety. Last month, I applied for the Office of Highway Safety grant. This is something that we have never done. This is separate from our allocated overtime. This was specific for additional bike lights and reflector bands that we can hand out at our checkpoints, seminars, and the officers can have, 10 or 12 of them in their car, where they can, have conversations with people at 1 or 2 in the morning when they're getting off work, which my officers do quite often in the summertime. OHS approved the grant. I don't know if we're exactly going to get the requested fund, but we're looking anywhere from 250 to 500 bike lights and reflective bands donated by the Office of Highway Safety, which is fantastic. And I'm very grateful for them. That's the end of my report.
Great. Thank you, Chief. That's really outstanding. I applaud you all, you and Officer Rogers, for that, the training you've taken. And hopefully we don't have that kind of event, but having the background and the knowledge perspective really will help, right? And that's awesome. It really just shows the dedication. There's a couple things came up too. Particularly, I know one of the things, Bob, you've talked a lot about at the last meeting before. Well, we all have, but around distracted driving, aggressive driving. And that's always a hard one for us to sort of be able to put our arms around, right? Because we're not out, we don't have that enforcement cable, like we can talk to somebody on a bike, right? So that's really, that targeted approach and trying to help with that. And folks knowing that we're going to be doing that, I think is a part of the process too, right? I mean, that, you know, we're looking out for those kind of things. So that's awesome. That's fantastic.
It
Any
just-
other comments?
No,
Go
just a
ahead.
comment on the signage. That's good news that, you know, there are things available that we could get that would hopefully be a no cost to us.
Yep.
But, you know, just what we saw during the bus rides, people are rule followers. They want to know what to do and how it should be done. And we never got any pushback. It was always, oh, I didn't know that. Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yep.
So having advertisement works fantastic. And when you get that busload of people that's sitting there for 20 minutes and sees that sign constantly, it's the best message that you can get there. And just another comment on the math and the physics. Now I can figure out how it all happened to me when I was a kid, hit by a car and punted. So yeah, now I got the mathematics that I can track that.
That's your problem.
Super. So, Bill, please, would you please go up, just so we can hear, everyone can hear you, please? Hey, just Bill, for everyone, introduce yourself, please, address.
Bill Bergfeld, live at 414 Gibson
Thank you.
Avenue. Don't come there after I make this comment. I'm not a rat, but there are times that we see something that's just totally crazy. And it reminded me, because I just saw it out here when I walked up to this building, a lady in a car with two dogs, one in the front seat, one on her lap, and these weren't little dogs. This dog was, and she had a cup of coffee, and she was driving down the street. Is there any place, and I don't want people to think that we need to call in everything but that's absolutely crazy. Do we just call the town police, the general number, and report it?
Yeah,
No, 'cause
yeah, I mean,
I'm
if
just
it's-
like, I'm tired of seeing that, and I'm tired of seeing people down the street that are on their phone, and they're drifting into the bike lane. And I know you guys are busy doing everything else and all around, but if we get the license plate, and at least you can stop and talk to them. Yes, I'm just like, I get so frustrated by it, because there's no reason for a person to have a dog on their lap when they're driving a damn car. And it's, or their phone. I know they do special, highway patrol does it more often than the town does. I know that, but is there a phone number we can call?
So in something like that, you
Bill.
can certainly either call the police department, that's the easiest way to get us, the most effective, but if you call 911, if you listen to our radio for an hour, you're not the only one that calls those in. Reckless drivers, speeding drivers, unattended vehicles, somebody at Wawa with a child in the front passenger seat that's not strapped in. We get a lot of those calls. Something in that incident, if you called the police department or called 911, we would get dispatched to it. A license plate, direction of travel will certainly help with that, make and model of the vehicle. More than likely, if that person was involved in an accident, so driving with your dog in your lap is not necessarily illegal, right? But if they're involved in an accident, then you're cited with inattentive driving or distracted driving. You can start charging them with stuff like that. But to pull a vehicle over like that, now if they were driving like that, the car is all over the road, they would certainly get stopped. The mere fact of somebody just sitting there at a red light with a dog in their lap and a coffee in their hand, it's not necessarily legal, but totality of circumstances with the environment around them and the way they're driving certainly makes it, reckless. But
didn't have clear view to the street.
sure, yeah. Yeah, that's something we could certainly pull over for, but a ticket wouldn't necessarily be given in that one situation. It'd be one of those educational things which I advertise. But if you sat in a police car with one of our officers, former Mayor Hardiman, the PAC committee, she's shaking her head. She's done ride-alongs with our department. You would be flabbergasted the stuff that you see, and that is very normal with what you saw this morning. But me driving home or to and from work, the stuff I see is mind-boggling. Never mind just right here in Bethany, it's everywhere. But certainly don't feel intimidated to call the police department or 911 in that. It happens all the time. and the general broadcast of the vehicle, the description, and the direction of travel, more than likely they would get stopped through it. It's called a BOLO, be on the lookout, that we get made aware of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Bill. And, you know, that will come up again a little bit. We'll talk about if you see something, say something. It's part of one of the things we want to focus on. So that falls under that umbrella. So,
Yeah, and
thank
it's
you.
also wave 3.0, where I said, we need to look at the aggressive and distracted drivers. You asked for an example in one after the meeting, but that's an excellent example. You see a lot of that around here.
No, let me clarify, Bob. I didn't ask for an example because I see it all the time, too. The issue is what can we do about it as a committee? That's what I wanted to think about, right? That's what I was concerned about. Not the issue and not that it happens. It's just, what are we going to do, right?
We'll make it part of our
We can
discussion.
try to engage and talk to people, but something like that, when you're talking about a vehicle, I think probably falls more in the line of our police department.
Yeah.
Generally, right? I mean, I'll talk to anybody about it, but are you going to follow them down the road, you know, kind of thing, right? That's the issue. So we'll get to that in a little bit. Thank you, Chief.
Yeah, if I
Appreciate
could
it.
just jump in real quick. In terms of cell phone usage, okay? In other words, if somebody is found to have violated that, and they're driving and they're talking on their cell phone, et cetera, what is the fine for that?
$200.
$200? Okay.
That one 4 years ago.
Oh, okay.
In Maryland or Delaware?
In Ocean View by a state trooper, and I think most people aren't gonna argue because they know they were guilty.
Right.
You pull me over, I'm not gonna say, no, can you prove it? It was my fault, I did.
Right. Well, what I'm getting back to, in other words, again, improve.
That's $200 less than, or worse than $200 less than.
No, exactly. I know other people that have gotten fined, and in turn, their behavior changed really quickly. And in turn, their friends heard about it, and their behavior changed really quickly. So again, I think a lot of this behavioral stuff, we need to try and encourage people's, enlightened self-interest, okay? It's in your best interest to, follow the guidelines, which will keep everybody safe, but it'll also keep you out of trouble. So in turn, if there's some ways when we communicate information, we perhaps, try and be nice about it, but also realize that you've got the carrot and the stick, right? And there's, you want to do the right thing, but unfortunately, if you don't, you're potentially exposing yourself to a real problem. And I don't think anybody wants to be shelling out $200 for something when they certainly didn't have to pick up the call, and it wasn't a crisis, and they could have pulled over and done it safely.
Yeah.
So,
Just a context, too. When I worked for the pond, that was considered an inviolable act, cardinal rule. I could lose my job.
Yeah.
It's like violating lockout, tagout, fall protection. It's that significant, right? Because we know the consequences of it. But we're in a little different environment. So, but that gets your thinking around the why, right?
right, exactly. That's what I'm going back to. And again, if we can motivate people themselves to want to do the
Right,
right thing,
right.
that's where we want to try and
Right.
go. And as we can talk to people, and we can do all sorts of stuff, but I mean, the bottom line is we want people to want to do the right thing.
Right.
And if we can encourage that, I think that's in everybody's best interest.
But I think, again, just building on that a little bit, when we're engaging with people, whether it's a trolley ride, whether it's whatever, I mean, knowing what the police department's doing with these targeted, that's important to be able to share with people.
Oh, I
right?
agree
I
completely.
mean,
yeah.
really, just having that background, that perspective, that's how much value we put on it. In fact, we are actually authorizing more time devoted to it to try to address it, because that's what people will say, like, what are you doing about that? Well, we are doing something about it, right? But,
No, I agree with
It's
you
all
completely.
trying to tie
Yeah,
together.
It's all together.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
I have a comment on that.
Sure.
So cell phone tickets and 100%, you're right, it's $206, and then that's for first offense. Second offense is a little bit higher. And what I heard you say is accountability. You admitted you were wrong, you paid the fine, that's what it's all about. It's correcting bad behavior. It's also, on the humanistic side of a police officer, it's very difficult to give somebody a fine for that when it's $206. We're not robots, we do have compassion. What most of the officers in Bethany do, you make kind of a deal. And what it does, it makes them do their homework and makes them do a little bit more work, and then we dismiss it in court. So My philosophy is to tell them to get some kind of Bluetooth. I drive, it's either connected to my Bluetooth or I stick my phone in my visor. Tell them to invest in some kind of Bluetooth, show proof of us in court, contest the ticket, and we'll dismiss it. You do a little homework, you do a little effort that you're gonna correct your behavior. We're also inconveniencing you by making you go to court, but we're keeping the money in your pocket. So that's our educational influence over just a $206 fine. It's not about the money. It's not about the money. And to be honest with you, the town of Bethany doesn't see that money.
Yeah.
It all goes to the state. But to take money from somebody to correct behavior, I feel awful about it. I got speeding tickets, before I was a police officer. That's the worst part of the job. But there was one, when you talk about accountability, one of my first cell phone tickets, I think it was like 2011 or 12, 13, somewhere around there. The gentleman contested it, and in court, the burden of proof is on the officer. Clear as day, he had his cell phone in his hand. I knew the color, the model of it before I even walked up to the window, gave him a fine, took it to court, and he told the judge he was eating an egg salad sandwich. I described the outer box, the color of it, the texture of the iPhone 8 at the time, because I did not have the burden of proof. I didn't have a picture, video evidence of him on his phone driving by. I lost the trial. So that activity, that enables the offenders to continue. That's why we have these problems. But the way to fix that is enforcement.
Just take it one more notch though, right, and what our challenge is. It's not, the data the studies have done, it's not the physical part of having the phone in your hand. It's the mental distraction, right? So even having Bluetooth, even having that, the issue is you're thinking about something other than driving, right? And how many of us have driven down the road, say you're going up Route 1, all of a sudden you go over the bridge and then you get to Dewey and you don't even remember how you got there because you've been thinking about other things, right? You've been driving, nothing's happened, but my mind has been on something else. Karen's got an appointment or somebody's sick or blah, 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 school, right? And we all have experienced that. And that's a part of us not being mentally in the game of doing, at the time, the most dangerous thing we're ever gonna do is drive a car. For most of us, right? So how easy it is to be distracted mentally, and that's really the higher level challenge we got to get to, not just the physical piece, but even the mental piece. But anyway, more to come. I think that one's we're gonna have more work on that for a while. So thank you, Chief, for everything you and Officer Rogers are doing. Julie, for the town?
Yeah, so I don't have any fancy presentation, and I have to say, Mickey, I think Chief is rivaling you a little bit on his slides. But I do have some things to report. So I was supposed to meet with a videographer this week who has shot some of our reels for the events, and we were going to discuss some plans for WAVE. So that's been postponed because of the storm. But we will focus that, and it'll help to have our priorities together too, that I can have a more efficient meeting. Other thing, so Mickey, thank you again for putting me in touch with a community engagement person with ABC. I'm going to talk to him. Again, once we have more of our priorities outlined, then he can help us with what we could use from their library of materials.
And vice versa.
Yes, we could share. And then one other thing, I've been in touch with somebody from iHeartMedia, and they want to get more involved in our events. So one of my thoughts is maybe we could have a live broadcast at the start of the season, even with the Poseidon event, and have them broadcast what our initiatives are there as the start of the, as the visitors are coming in and we're rolling out our new season. So.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any comments? I just want to take a moment, actually regress a second. I just want to give a little bit of recognition both to our Chief Foley and Julie. It's so important, they're members of our team, have been members of our team since the beginning, and the valuable input you give us all the time is awesome. And I know you have your deck full with other responsibilities, but you being here, being able to contribute is really something we greatly appreciate. So thank you very much. I just want to thank you. And I also want to give a thank you to Art and Mark for doing our report out at the last council meeting. I forgot to do that before, and I did an awesome job. So thank you, guys. Okay, let's go ahead and move into the focus areas for 2024, if we,
26.
26.
26. Mickey, you need more coffee a lot sooner. So building that out a little bit for 2026, what we want to try to focus on are the events and schedule staffing. This is the spreadsheet that Art's been so diligent about helping keep us in front. There's a revamped process going on with or upgraded website. So the thought last time by someone was, but boy, it'd be great if we could make sure we include how to utilize that, right? So that's we can spend a little bit of time on that. Materials and supplies, we've touched on that a little bit,
Yep.
and then we'll get into the Wave 3.0 top 5, okay? So that's sort of our plan for this block. Those of you in the audience, you might not be able to read this, but it's, this is our schedule of events that we have in the tentative staffing, and I know I need to give you some dates, Art, so we'll do that. Some folks already have.
Right.
But this just sort
I
of
think
helps.
we all have to sign up for some of this.
Yeah. This just sort of lays out the events that we have on the docket. I'm not going to go through all those. You've seen them before. But we have built in there the trolley rides, right? And we'll probably have a number of those throughout the season. But I thank you, Art, for putting those in just as a placeholder that, we'll do those. Mark, thank you for being the liaison with the St. Martha's.
Yes.
There was some discussion about where that was going to be, how it was going to be, and you jumped right in and ran with that. So, and can you help, just since you're sort of the point person, can you stay the point person for that?
Yes,
With us? So, thank you, sir. So again, the reminder here is just let's update that individually, and then we can sort of see where we are from a staffing perspective. If we have any shortages and the like. Is there anything up that's not? I know you. Is there anything that's not up there that should be?
I don't think so.
I think we covered everything.
Again, anytime you got a change to this, please just send me
Yeah.
an email message and I'll be happy to add it. Again, there's dates missing for certain things because I'm not sure those have been determined yet. Once we get the dates and times and then the people that are going to participate, just let me know and I'll be happy to add it to the sheet. Again, with the trolley rides, yes, there'll probably be a number more there, but I just put a couple of there out as placeholders.
Yep.
But we can, again, this will build out over the course of the year.
Right.
And I'll be happy to add whatever people want. And again, I'll send this out on a regular basis
Great.
as the updates come in.
Great.
So if anything else, just let me know.
Okay, great, Art. Chief, let me come back for a second around that with the J1 seminar with Officer Tressler. Does he need help with that, or is he sort of going to? Can you?
So he has the foundation, this will be our third year, he has the foundation for it, so I think he's either gonna stick to what we've done or kind of personalize a little bit with his own touch.
Yeah.
I was just kind of heartbroken last year that we did all that and had,
Yeah.
Yes,
a
I think
couple dozen students show up.
Sure where it's going.
I also think that we're aware that law enforcement is not well-respected in some other countries, and they're kind of timid around us, which helps. And also them being temporary citizens, there's also, I've spoke to a couple business owners, and they're like, yeah, they're not gonna go, they're terrified of, the current issues in America, they're terrified of the police. You're not gonna fix that by, inviting them to this thing. So that's discouraging to hear, because they're already coming in with a negative mindset. But trying to fix that is very challenging. I just kind of feel after last year, I don't know how awesome we can make this event. We need full participation to make it great, but.
Yeah, well, it was an awesome event for those who showed up. I mean, let me put it that way. And you had ABC doing the training ad in the back of the church. You had, it was awesome. Is there anything, but if there's anything we can do, we as a committee to help Officer Tressler with that. I know there was this issue with the CASA being supportive or not being something like that. If we can help press the flesh a little bit with that and, and support it, please let us know because we'd be glad to help.
Yeah, last year my staff went door to door, which was kind of tough for them to do while they were working. That could be something that you guys could be a huge asset
and we
to.
have that actually, that'll be something that comes up in a second about the business connection.
Yeah, great.
And so we can easily, I think, divide and conquer that.
Sure.
So, okay, good. All right, thank you. So we have that, we'll update that. The areas of focus, this is again from our meeting from last week. We talked about trolley signage. Chief, thank you for covering that. We're going to make sure we always have safety comments in each newsletter. Kathy's sort of helping coordinate that for us. We didn't really follow this through. Remember we were talking about the orange flags for the rapid flashing beacons? We didn't really work that to ground a little bit. I mean, we've had some interest in it. We've seen it in different areas. I've seen it in Salt Lake City 10 years ago. But there's pros and cons with that. But I just wanted to keep it up there so it's a sort of something we want to come back to and see. Because I see value in it. I just how to make it work, right? So, the idea being when you're literally crossing, you've got that flag up as a way of just helping see that you're visually, and then you put it in the other stanchion, and then people have it to go back. And
So the aggressive drivers can aim for you.
yeah. The inclusion in the Bethany Beach calendar, I guess that would be for next year, right, Julie?
Yes.
I'm working on it now, so it's for
Next year?
season.
Okay.
It goes in May, it goes from.
Okay, so we can still get it, okay, gotcha, okay.
Yeah.
The business outreach, that's what we just talked about, so I think maybe we think about how to divide and conquer that with the major businesses downtown. Well, not just major, all of them, and try to have some kind of personal connect around getting people to come to the seminar or other events we have. So I think that's one where we can really encourage that, right?
Yeah, and, last year, after we had the discussion with the bus driver about,
Yep.
I just, Bethany Diner, the restaurant over here, just while you're waiting, just talking to them, and, and letting them know what we've heard and what we've seen.
Right.
And they are more than willing, to keep their people safe.
Right,
So I don't think it's going to be a hard discussion.
Right.
right.
And there's simple things that you could do, like they got to wear their black uniforms, that's a
Right.
given. But you can do those iron-ons when we were kids, like you used to put the flyers stuff on,
Yeah.
iron on, and put that reflector on the back of the shirt.
Well, that's where the armbands might come in handy too, because that's easy, right? You put it on when you're riding, you take it off.
But the problem is, you got to remember to put it on and take it off.
Oh, I
The
understand.
shirt you have on.
Are you
Yeah,
saying this is a knockoff iron-on because I'm a Flyer fan, or?
It's the Clark.
I'm sorry, Robert. Okay, but no, that idea of, again, if we could just, it'd be something we can think about between our next meeting, is just how we can divide and conquer that a little bit. Each of us take a few of the businesses and just try to reach out and talk about what's going on, what's happening, and to support their working staff and how they can support it, encourage it, right? And try to break down some of the barriers or the fears or whatever, right? Because it's a fun event. And maybe it's even having them show up too,
Yeah,
right? To
having
be
them show.
coming part and parcel with it. I mean, we can be really creative with that, so.
So,
I think that would be a good discussion.
Sergeant Sharp from the police department does a public educational outreach for shoplifting seminars as the summer comes around. We could just make that into just instead of shoplifting, just an educational seminar where we get them all in one room and
Yep.
talk about education, our outreach. You guys are more than welcome to attend. And then he can do his educational
Yeah.
shoplifting prevention seminar
Yeah.
too. in one shot.
I've heard good things about that seminar from other business owners. They like it.
Yeah, yeah. And that's obviously, most of us on council are actively trying to talk to businesses. I know the mayor's here. He's doing it all the time. So, to having that be part of the conversation about supporting their staff, particularly their younger kids, and some of the things we're doing to reach out to that. The other thing we had that came up was that May being National Bike Safety Month, and we haven't really done anything I think we've had a couple flyers, but we haven't really done anything significant around that. So I wanted to capture that as
That
something.
could be the calendar.
Not just the calendar, but that
What?
could also be the broadcast we could do, because that'll be
yes.
Poseidon's in May, we could
Right.
tie in with that.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. So again, these were just the focus areas that came out of, this was a lot of stuff that came out of our interaction with the community. Remember back in October, then we took it and filtered it a little bit more. What's not on there are the things that are sort of fall into the Wave 3.0. I sort of bought those on another block, because those are sort of more these are things we can do. The others are more the interactions, okay? So, so if we go to the last part, the revamped website, Julie, can you help just guide us through that? I don't know that much about it.
There's
yet.
nothing to report on it yet. It's still
Okay,
in
yeah,
process, so
Yeah.
once it does, I'll be happy to.
Yeah.
Once it comes to fruition, yeah.
Yeah. Is anybody like a real website guru that loves that stuff all the time? And, I mean, if you do.
So
I mean,
this would be the town website. I don't think we would update anything. We would just
No,
provide.
no, no, but I
content.
mean, just say to be a sort of a.
Oh, sure.
Interface with, that's all I meant.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Materials and supplies, we were looking at potentially t-shirt. Did we ever do an inventory of the t-shirts yet? No, we need to do that.
So I
Okay.
think we need the t-shirts here, right? So we talked about it, and then there were two
Yeah.
snowstorms. So I'm not sure the t-shirts have been a priority.
Why not, Teresa? I mean, come on. I mean, there's only like 3 feet of snow and trees and power lines.
Right.
Use them as white flags.
But the problem of having them here, there was no place to store, because we had that discussion last year with Brian, if we
Right.
can have it
Yeah.
here, and
Yeah, so I think ideally he would bring them here, we would count them, and then he would take them back, I think, right? Because you don't want them back under the steps.
Right,
Yeah.
unless you need flash waters.
Right.
Down there.
That's true. That's
Well,
a.
I think
that's a-
Bob and I agree that we will be more than happy to go out and do the inventory
Yeah,
wherever
Brian is
wherever
the
it
guy.
is. Right, so,
Yeah.
and if you can just let us
Gotcha.
Yeah.
know what we can do to help.
Once
we'd
the
be
snow
happy to
melts,
do
because they
so.
don't plow over there.
Right, no, I'm just saying, whenever you want it done, we'll be happy to do it.
Okay.
And the other idea I threw out, again, was just this idea of potentially considering,
Yes.
revamping the T-shirts, just so that they might either be brighter. I mean, you look at Mickey's, when you walk in here, the
Right.
bright orange certainly is visible. And when I drive around, when I'm out walking, when I'm out biking, again, the bright neon type of shirts, I'm immediately picking up.
I'll
So
reach
again,
out
I
to
don't
the
know
shirt
what kind of
company.
costs are involved.
I'll
if this
see
is-
what kind of
It's
options there
practical.
are, and I work with another one too for our 4th of July shirts, so I could find out either way.
We
Okay,
could
that'd
also
be great.
incorporate it into the design on the shirt, right? Keep it as a white shirt so people actually take it. Not everyone, I don't think, will take an orange shirt or a neon green shirt, but we could put that on the shirt.
Yeah, but
White
it-
with bright colors.
Okay, yeah,
But
whatever would
instead of
work.
having the blue,
Right.
maybe have a yellow.
Sure.
That's a reflective yellow.
Sure.
And
Right.
that may
Yeah.
get, some of the support of night bicycling.
So, Art and Bob, can you sort of run point for us on that, if you don't mind?
In terms of
Well,
design?
well,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, whatever, that's fine. I mean, I mean, whoever, we gotta get the count and then think about how much, what we need to reorder. But if you wanna, you both got some good ideas. I mean, I'm fine to run
I'll
with
be happy to
whatever.
help. Again,
Okay.
I don't know. what
And- well,
research
Julie
has
with the
been done,
budget and
but,
planning,
if- just let it, we'll be happy to work with you on this. How about
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Because again, you're really good in terms of just how to communicate stuff, so.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
again, I don't know what the cost involved, I don't know how practical of any of
Right.
this stuff is, so we have to look into all of that. I mean, if our costs triple, then that's a whole different animal.
Yeah.
So,
But I'm just trying to be sensitive. Julie's got a full deck with her scale. I'm just trying, anything we can offload to help and then let her be our,
yeah, I'd be
Quarterback
happy
on
to,
it.
just
Yeah,
let me know
that's
what you
all.
need.
Yeah.
Because if I remember correctly, the T-shirts from last year were the Wave 2.0.
yeah, but I think that.
Well,
the
they're the
3.0
original
is just what
shirts.
we're calling it.
We haven't updated the shirts since
Shirt's
we
not
started
bad.
getting
Okay,
them.
so it didn't say 2.0?
It doesn't.
Because the inventory was running low, remember at the
Yes.
tail end?
Right.
I don't think we have much left.
Especially in
So-
the smaller sizes. That's what
Yeah.
you guys were saying last year.
So there's an opportunity if we're reordering.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's, yeah. So if you can come back with some ideas and working with Julie, that'd be awesome,
Okay,
you know?
sure.
Super, thank you. Brochures, do we need,
We got some last year. I think.
okay, are we okay with, because
Yeah.
between what we might get from Office of Highway Safety,
Yep.
Chief, with what you're talking about, and I think, are we okay with I'm really just trying to say if we need to order anything in advance of the season.
Well, how about stickers? Are we good in terms of stickers? Because I know they're a big hit with the kids.
Yeah.
Particularly for the parade, right?
Yeah, there
Well,
were,
for the parade or
And
just
the-
whether
and
the
the,
trolley
I carry
rides.
them.
Yes,
I
yeah.
carry them in my pocket, and when I see the kids are biking.
they're probably in with the t-shirts.
Can you say that, make sure you, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
when I'm walking or running, I always keep some in my pocket, and when I see young kids that are on their bikes, I stop them and I give it to them. They're probably not supposed to talk to a stranger.
But see, no, and Diane, that's what's so cool about you all as a team, how you reach out and make this personal, right? Because that becomes your mission to engaging with people, and that's what makes a difference. It doesn't matter so much what we do here, but Diane spending time with me and giving me, that's huge. So, thank you. That's fantastic. Okay. Just Mark. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
just on the brochures, so our WAVE brochure, I think, has a kind of a focus on especially pedestrian safety, and I think the state, I don't know if it's Office of Highway Safety or DelDOT, or maybe it's the same brochure I'm thinking of, but that kind of spells out, yeah, this
I think this
one.
one is really good.
This one,
Oh, that's the state.
especially for like the Ocean to Bay event, this is very bike focused. So I think having a quantity of these, as well as our WAVE brochure, would be great to have for that. I mean, other events as well, but thinking of that event in particular. That
Yeah,
one
that's DelDOT's logo, so that must be a DelDOT /
Yeah.
Office of Highway Safety.
You want to pass that down?
Would they just send those to us if we asked for them? How does that work?
I can shoot them an email and ask for a special request. I don't know how many
you
they
need
have
this?
allocated to town. No, we have some in our lobby for the
Okay.
police
Yeah.
department. But I would have to get like a large box for us to pass out.
Sure.
We have maybe 100 inside our
Okay.
lobby at the police department, but we need a lot more than that.
Would they be more open to it if they knew it was related to the Bike to Bay event, maybe?
I would probably keep it more relative to Bethany,
Okay.
like pedestrian and
Okay.
bike safety for Bethany rather than that.
Okay. Okay, good. Let's go to Wave 3.0. So there's our, was that the, we were talking about logo, was that the one you were talking about, Julie, when we were chatting the other day? Or the umbrella one? That one, okay. So our umbrella is just some different topics and some ideas underneath that. You've seen this before, we'll continue to update this. So what I've taken a shot at, this is just a shot, this is based on all our conversations. There's nothing special about this list other than, I think they're all things I've heard from you all. But I was trying to just get a starting point with what would be our top 5. So feel free to blow all these up and start from scratch or add to it or whatever you want to do. But if you see something, say something, is sort of a theme. The whole thank you for slowing down, showing appreciation, particularly for drivers somehow, when they do moderate their speed or stop at the crosswalks. Riding and walking on the correct side of the road, right? Whatever the
We
case
hear that
may
all
be.
the time.
Yeah. The need to be seen, whether it's in walking or biking. So these are topics, okay? This is the work that Julie really highlighted. We need to build these out, what it would look like, what would we do? But we're just trying to get some themes up there. And using the rapid
Flashing.
rectangular
Rectangular
rectangular flashing beacons. Another cup of coffee is needed, correctly, right? I mean, applying WAVE to that, right, if you will, right? Not just hitting the button, well, hitting the button. Some people don't like to do that.
Yeah.
Making sure the cars are stopping, both lanes of cars are stopping, proceeding with caution, and then maybe actually waving to people, making that visual connection, that you see them, they see you, yep, you're going across, that kind of thing, just communicate that. That's just the 5 things that came to mind from what I've heard, so this is, again, we can modify this however you want. Julie, please.
I think it would be beneficial if we point out the new additions to the town, too. The new crossroads, crosswalks, the new
yes.
beacons, where they're located.
Okay.
Just as another awareness push.
Okay.
Especially on 26.
That's a great idea. And I
That's
sent
a
you
great-
4 other suggestions last night in that email for the consideration set. One of them was talking about like e-bikes, because that's something that I hear constantly people are complaining about, is that, again, people are not following the guidelines that they need to in terms of managing them. Also, just to continue to be alert, because that's the most important thing to me is, again, just being around here, you've constantly just got to have your kind of spider sense tingling, for lack of a better term. There's looking around, don't assume that people are going to stop. Don't assume that people are going to do the right thing. You have to be careful. So again, I sent you 4 other thoughts last night in terms of the consideration set. But again, the biggest things that I keep hearing from people either riding on the trolley or my neighbors, et cetera, are again, the visibility issue, the directional issue, and the e-bike issue, if I had to pick 3.
Okay.
So just for consideration. Again,
Yeah.
whatever, I think any of these things could be turned into a 30, 60, 90-second video or a short blurb on a newsletter.
Right.
It depends on just, how you want to do it. But it'd be nice to have a variety of things, and then
Yes.
if we maybe do like 3, 4, 5 this year, and then we'll have a list that we can go to next year, just so we're, putting different ideas out there to keep things fresh and, people's attention.
Right. So the whole idea is that if you think about it, is get them up here, right? These are just our, our whiteboard of capturing ideas, and then this is, the second one is just what do we want to implement, like in the next 3 or 4 months.
Exactly.
That doesn't mean any of those go away. It's really just helping prioritize what are the ones let's get something put together, or a video, a digital kind of engagement for 4 or 5 or 6 or whatever they are, and then we'll do the next 6, right? Or we'll make modifications, or we'll make changes. But, so, Art, I'm sorry, I didn't read yours last night, so I
No,
didn't.
that's okay. Yeah, I just threw them out, so.
But if we add something to that list about e-bike, would that be
Here, let me
okay with
bring you-
everybody?
Let me give you my message.
Do you want to take, what else did you have, Art? I mean, this is open for everybody.
Right.
What else is, again, there's nothing sacred about this list other than,
Sure, I mean, again, I
and
could,
it can be 6 or 7, it doesn't have to be
Yeah.
5
well,
either.
again, I had the e-bike issue, I had the being alert.
Yep.
I had the key in terms of communicating. Again, we're all in here in a small area with a lot of people. So whether you're on the beach, whether you're running, whether you're biking, there's other people that are in front of you. You've got to be aware and you got to communicate like, hey, I'm passing you. Hey, I'm doing all sorts of things. It just, so you're aware of your neighbors, and in turn, you're making it a safer environment for everybody around you.
Okay.
So I think there's a real value in communicating.
Okay.
Let's see, what was the 4th one? Oh, yeah, helmet, exactly.
Oh,
Good.
helmet.
Thank you, Mark. Again, helmet usage. Again, you only get one brain. I think it's really important that people do wear a helmet when you're biking. Now, again, it's required for people, I think, 18 and under? Is that correct?
Under 18.
Under 18, that they have to wear a helmet. But those over 18 also should be wearing a helmet. And I can tell you from personal experience and just, from myself and other people that I know that have had spills. And if it wasn't for that helmet, I don't know what the outcome might have been. But wearing that helmet is critical, and especially if you've got young children, you should be setting the example for them. I mean, if the kids are wearing the helmet and mom and dad aren't, well, okay, then what kind of message is that delivering? I mean, again, it's easier said than done, but again, you really need to just protect your head. So I think it's important that we reiterate the requirements, as well as, just the fact that it's in your best interest to do this, to have that helmet on, because you never know what's coming in front of you. So those are just, again, a few other thoughts for consideration.
Bob, you had your hand up, please.
Well, yeah, just to kind of marry up with what Art's saying, it kind of goes back to the bus rides. The majority of people are rule followers. And if we can get that information advertised on the bus, here are the laws, and you must have a helmet on if you're 18 years or under 18 years of age. Here's the e-bikes and what you're allowed to do or not allowed. So the message is, what we can communicate, but having that advertised. And that was my reflection on the top 5. What are the Delaware law? And we kind of take it from there.
Yeah, if I can just add to the whole thing, electric bikes are certainly one issue, but again, we've talked about mopeds. So again, I don't want people just to kind of assume that, oh, okay, this is an electric bike, I can do what I want. And then scooters has come up as an issue. I remember that, I think the law has changed regarding scooters in the last year or so, which is fine. But again, it would just be nice to let people know what the expectations are. Because I think last year there was a flyer that came out that said you couldn't do this, and now I guess the law changed and you can. So it would probably be helpful just to make sure people understand what the community expectation is. So,
Okay.
just a thought.
Okay, so, so let me just ask this, if, those are all great ideas, do you want to take anything off of what we have up there, or just add to what we have? I mean, there's nothing, we could have, this list could be 10 if those are the things, and maybe we just work on the top, whatever.
And I think maybe if
I'm
we,
just trying to
if we
prioritize
strip
a
it down by bicycle, pedestrian, and vehicle, that might clarify it a little bit.
Sure.
Because some are lumped together and some are not, but if we have 3 different campaigns that specifically target those areas, it might make it a little easier to follow.
That makes sense.
Okay,
And then that could change where we post it, too.
okay. So Julie, when you say campaigns, let me ask a question. What I was really thinking about for this, right, when it's actually creating like some type of digital video that's 30 to 90 seconds that addresses each one of those topics that we can be shown a lot of different things. On the website, on the app, before a concert, whatever we want to do, right? Anywhere but you just talked about campaigns.
So, I mean, social media campaigns, too. So
Oh, okay.
the whole communication strategy includes all that. So the campaign is
Gotcha.
targeted. So,
Okay.
yeah, it extends our reach.
Okay. So, Julie, I hate to ask you this, but I'm going to ask you because you're the one who knows this. Can you help us organize, or like if you thought of, I love the idea, I think we all like the idea of like 3 different campaigns focused on bicycles, pedestrians, and vehicles.
Right.
Can you help us, like, how you would sort of see that, like, even over the course of the summer rolling out, like what you would need for that? If you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And then we
I'll do
can-
that, and then that'll help because I'm putting this together for my meeting with the videographer, so we can shape that a little bit
Yeah.
better. I just wanted to make sure we were all in agreement on how we wanted to
That makes a lot more sense.
Okay,
move forward.
awesome. All right, so let's do this. Julie, if you can take that, that's a different, the campaign idea. And then I'm just going to add to the list, communication, helmet usage, and e-bikes particularly. Just let me add those 3 to that list.
Yeah, well, and awareness, just to, be just constantly vigilant in terms of your environment, which again could apply to bikers, runners, walkers, drivers, because
Right.
everybody has to be
Right.
alert. Because
Right.
I guess you come to these stop signs here on Route 1, and a lot of people just look the direction of traffic. They don't bother looking the other way.
Yeah.
And in turn, you're going to have, people coming from that direction, and then you've got a problem.
Right, and that's
So-
the whole concept of WAVE, really. I mean,
Right.
that's the beauty of that acronym, right? It's watch, assess, verify, and then enter, right? It's
Right.
that whole awareness, so let's just add those to that list, and then we'll start to work on putting some content together around each of those.
Okay.
Right? Okay. Good. Thank you, everybody, for your input. So let's go to the last thing on the agenda. This is the planning for the March Learning Sharing event. So we'll talk about participant confirmations, agenda and roles, venue options, and Governor Meyer participation. Okay? Okay, for this block. So we have, so far, our purpose of the Learning Sharing event. This is actually the same one we've used for the last couple of years with the date change. I think it's pretty appropriate and about listening, hearing, thought starters, building networks outside of our own little communities and working together. So I really propose we can go ahead and use that as it is. If everyone has any upgrades. For the agenda, again, this is really a draft of we've taken out particularly having DelDOT and or DENREC just to sort of help manage our time a little bit, and the fact that we potentially have Governor Meyer coming. So the idea being we'd have a kickoff. Again, these assignments are just, I was just trying to get something on paper to start. We can change this completely. But we'd have a kickoff, welcome, we'd have some kind of safety contact, we would give Governor Meyer the opportunity to share his comments and about the topic. And just one other comment, this is not going to be, for this meeting, we're not going to be talking about wind farms, we're not going to be talking about upstate, downstate, constitutional issues. This is about pedestrian, bicycle, road safety, okay? I mean, just so I'm not talking to you all, but
Yeah.
if we could get a lot of different people coming, and I just want to make sure this is focused on this learning event for us so we've sent invitations to these folks. We have confirmations back from Dewey, the mayor of Dewey, North Bethany, and South Bethany. We've gotten sort of verbal things back from some of the others, but we want to follow up. So I'm just showing the ones that are really jumped on board. That's a pretty good list,
It is a good list.
That's a pretty good list. And then we would open it up. These would be limited to like 5 minutes, no more than that. We're
Yes.
encouraging people to have a PowerPoint. If Jerry Morris is around somewhere, he would probably drop it his. But just, again, we'll have people watching on virtually as well as here. So you want to be able to communicate that as effectively as you can. So we're going to try to encourage folks to have something, but if they want some folks to stand up and talk, that's okay. But limit it to 5 minutes each. Then we'd have an opportunity for Governor Meyer to share any comments, learnings, perspectives he's heard. I think that would be pretty cool. That could be some engagement. And then we do a little sort of a summary and learning what we've heard and as what we want to do as communities working out of that. And then lunch. So again, this isn't a major departure from what we've done before. It's just, does that make sense?
Yes.
Are we missing anything in terms of work blocks in that, or?
No, there shouldn't be any work blocks, right? Like
Wrong
nobody's-
word,
yeah.
wrong word, yeah.
Yes, I think we've covered everything.
Yeah. We okay?
Yep.
And so again, I want to make sure we're all involved in this and this team. I mean, that you all are sponsoring this along with the town. So I want each of you to have a role. If you have a particular focus, something you want to do, that's fine. We'll have you do it. I'm just trying to get started, okay? Let me get back to, those are the confirmations. Governor Meyer has verbally told me he would come. I would now sent 3 letters to him and his team. He's a tough guy to sort of nail down. But the reality is he's got a lot of things. The mayor's reached out to his team. We're going to try to nail that down here really shortly. Anything can come up at the last minute.
Sure.
But he was enthusiastic when Teresa and I talked to him, and we've sent him out 3 or 4 different things with the letters, the agendas. He knows who's coming. So we're trying to gently we want him to be here. And hopefully he gets here and we can do some other things too, right? Take him on a bike ride before, if he wants to tour the beach, if he wants to do whatever he wants to do after that. I'm hoping he takes advantage of that. The venue, particularly because of the governor coming, we're looking at, and Raylene has already made some work with us, some options to use the hotel, I believe, so we can use a larger venue, anticipating more people being here. Raylene, why don't you speak to that? Thank you for all your work in advance.
So in a discussion that Julie and Will and I had today prior to the meeting, we were talking about if we do have it at the hotel, it came up, how we would live stream the event at the hotel. So it might take bringing in Ella, our tech who live streams. We would treat it like a bandstand performance essentially.
Yes.
So just throwing that out there, something to think about if we do take it to the hotel. We might have to bring Mid-South in.
Yeah.
So,
I think.
Raylene, between you and Will, can you guys help us with what we need on that
Yeah, yep.
and setting that up? I am going to try to get a confirmation, another confirmation from the governor here shortly. That, yeah, it's on his agenda, I'm planning on being here, thanks, blah, 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 all that kind of thing. Then we can move forward and make the commitment with the hotel,
Okay.
right? If something comes up at the last minute, they have some
So
budget crisis or something else going on, I'm sure he'll send somebody else, but I don't want to make the commitment if we don't really need the space, but if he's here, I want to take advantage of it, because I'm sure it'll bring, a lot of people will come out, so. But
Agreed.
So Raylene, thank you in advance. I know this has been a little gray area, because you keep asking me for a commitment, and I keep saying, well, hold on a second, hold on. But we're getting really close, so thank you.
Thank you.
I think we're going to have a full list of participants, and if we can get Governor Meyer here, that would be awesome.
Yep.
So, I think that's it. Are there any other items for
In terms of the
consideration?
workshop, if I may?
Yes, please,
Last time we had a
for the
little-
March workshop.
Yeah, March
Yeah.
workshop.
Yeah.
Just, we had a discussion about whether we were going to ask DenRec and DelDOT just to be there as opposed to being participants, or are we just basically completely cutting them out?
Well-
I'm just throwing it out there because I know last time there was some thought about having them as a resource, not necessarily to talk, but just so that people could go up and discuss things with them afterwards. Because again, if all the communities are here, then
Yes.
theoretically, they may be able to all have an opportunity to talk with DelDOT about, or DenRec about a particular issue or
Yes.
issues, which might make sense from an efficiency standpoint for everybody. So just a thought.
Yeah, it makes sense from an efficiency standpoint. We were advised that it might cause a conflict if maybe the governor's office has different priorities than those two departments, and they should not be in the same meeting.
Oh, that's interesting.
Well, but
I thought the
also,
administration
it'll
would be
muddy the
administration.
waters, because the governor will want to talk about what the governor wants to talk about, which is this. And if you
Okay.
bring in DelDOT, then you start getting conversations about roads, and you get conversations about parks, and it can
Okay, I just
keep
thought
us
I'd
off
throw it out.
focus. It can get us off focus if we have them there.
Okay.
That was, so maybe it's not an issue of priority so much as it's an issue of focus.
Okay, just thought I'd bring it back
Yeah.
up, because it seemed to be up in the air at the end of last meeting, and if
It was
if
up
it's
in
a
the air.
no-go, then that's fine. I
Yeah,
just
and
wanted to
we
clarify.
talked internally, and that's where we ended up.
Okay,
We were
that's fine.
advised that it's just, we can have DelDOT come to a different meeting. And they've been to the last two, so people have had opportunities to talk to DelDOT. They've been at the last two.
Yeah, or the other outcome could be, right? Because from my view, having everybody there made all the sense in the world, but I get the idea of the jurisdictional issues.
And focus.
And focus.
Right.
But if the governor says, hey, I want to have my DelDOT team
Sure.
there, bring them, that's great.
Yeah.
Or if I want to have DenRec, or I want to have blah, blah, blah. But we're just trying to keep it focused on,
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just thought I'd bring it up. That's all.
yeah,
It was an open question.
yeah.
Okay,
It was an open question.
Good one, thank you.
thanks.
Can
Bob,
I, can we not lose that opportunity? And you made the comment, maybe we can have them here separately. Because there are some things that we're always are told we can't do, it's a DelDOT, requirement. I think having that discussion, mini workshop, however we want to have it, we don't want to lose that opportunity.
So I
But I'm
think,
back- yeah.
I think some of these towns, like, we can't solve all the world's problems. If some of these towns want to have a meeting with DelDOT, they should schedule one. We could schedule one
Yeah.
if we wanted to have a meeting with DelDOT.
We could schedule one.
There's no loss of opportunity. They can still call DelDOT and schedule their own meetings.
Who's they?
The individual towns.
Oh, okay. I'm just saying, we've had some good discussions
We have.
I was here just for
Yeah.
the last one, not
Yeah,
for
yeah,
the
yeah.
other two.
Yeah.
I don't think
So-
we want to lose those opportunities.
So let's do so where we came out, and we talked about this extensively offline, and I agree with it. I mean, because we want to, as Teresa talked about, we want this to be focused, right? If the governor wants to bring others, he can obviously bring whoever he wants.
Right.
But to your point, it doesn't say we couldn't have an event,
We could.
our next meeting, we could invite DelDOT to come to talk specifically, right? It's just, we're just trying to manage a lot of potentially competing interests here, and,
Something to think about.
No, I know.
I think we had some good discussion with that.
absolutely. It's just we're trying to recognize there's a hierarchy too.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
I understand.
That's really what it comes down to.
Protocol that we need to follow.
So, okay, so any other items for consideration for this meeting? Public comments? Yes, sir. If you, just name, badge number, serial number, whatever you want to give us,
Bob Shields from South Bethany, and I chair our pedestrian bicycle.
Yeah, Bob,
committee there. And really
One of
appreciate,
our confirmed attendees.
appreciate the opportunity to sit in and learn from you guys, and I wanted to build on one of your, I talked to Diane about this, and I wanted to build on one of your comments about the orange flags. This is something that we've been looking at independently.
Oh, okay.
One of our council members was down in Melbourne Beach, Florida, and saw it in operation there and thought it was really effective. And
Okay.
I've talked to about it with our police chief, and he liked the idea. So we're going to have our meeting this afternoon. I'm going to propose it to our committee that we perhaps try a pilot project.
Oh, okay.
And you know, our biggest concern, of course, is 13 crosswalks across Route 1. I mean, we're pretty
Yeah.
focused on that. So if we could help solve that problem, it would really help a lot. And of course, if we could turn this into a coastwide effort, I mean, it would be
Yeah.
better. So I just want to let you know that we're going to take a look at it. I haven't mentioned this to the mayor or the council yet, but I'm hoping to build some support for it. Perhaps we can get a pilot project going in the spring and try it out in the summer and see how it works. You had mentioned that there were some potential downsides to it.
The only downside I see to it is that people will steal the flags. And then it's really a budget issue.
Yeah.
I mean, they can be replaced, they're not
Maybe talk
expensive.
to Melbourne and see if I can reach somebody down there to find out how expensive this thing is, or, but how much could it be,
Yeah.
you know?
But the advantage, Bob, to your point, it's sort of nice, particularly for us and you know, Bethany and South Bethany. It's like one continuous, to not have a consistency from the time you enter there to there would be a nice
Except for those guys
thing.
in the middle.
And that makes all the sense in the world, yeah. So we'll take it offline to sort of re-energize that, particularly in the context that you all are looking at it, and see if we can, I think it's great. I mean, I'm all for trying it, because,
I guess we'd probably have to get some kind of blessing from DelDOT.
I would think.
yeah,
Hopefully they wouldn't be too obnoxious about it, I don't know.
yeah,
They seem pretty willing to work with people when they don't have to pay for it.
Okay, so I'll keep you posted on that.
okay. Bob, thank you, and we're looking forward to having you all. Again, thank you. You've been a really, yeah. I think South Bethany was, when we first got started a few years ago, was when we started doing the community interchanges. You and Edie came
And Bob, different Bob.
And gave us a little, that was just two communities sharing with each other, so it's awesome. Thank you. Okay, do we have a motion to adjourn?
One more comment from the mayor.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know, Mayor. Can somebody use the gavel here? This could be a record.
No,
He took the gavel. Okay, he's got the gavel.
I wanted to compliment you guys. As a committee, you guys, and individually on the committee, do such an incredible job. And it's nice to see everybody so involved and right into it. And I think you've got some tremendous efforts going. This is really great. And it becomes so important in the summer when we have so many people here. It's just like, and to get the messages is across, like in the trolley, like you were talking about, and these other engagements with the J1s, and all great stuff. So, thank you for everything you guys do. It's just wonderful. So, and I promise with the governor, there's many things I'd like to talk to him about, but I will hold back. So
Focus.
And we do have regular correspondence with the governor's rep here locally, and I know he interfaces with the governor regularly. So if you'd like, I can put another one out to him and just say, hey, which I'll do. I'll go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
So, okay,
Awesome.
thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you for your
Appreciate it.
support.
Okay. Bob, you look like you're...
Before we adjourn, I just
Absolutely.
wanted to thank Brett and his team, Public Works. They really did a fantastic job.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, really did. And actually, we can extend that a little bit to the police department, because they were having to deal with a lot of lines down, lights down, trees down, people down, I'm sure, the whole thing. So it truly was amazing how quickly we got things back up and running, you know. Although I did see Brett the other day, and his comment was, "I'm really done with snow for this season." I'm like, okay, everybody, thanks again, and do we have a motion to adjourn? Do we ever?
Moved.
Okay, second, Diane?
All in favor?
Okay, thanks, everybody, appreciate it. Have a great rest of the week.
So Chief, did people actually stay off?